entire military is one cohesive, dedicated force. And the threats to our nations, they don't sleep. They're watching our every move. Iran, Russia, China, North Korea, ISIS, Al-Qaeda. They may be watching this right now. Our military should not be mistaken for a cable news gabfest show. We don't care what you look like. We don't care who you voted for, who you worship, what you worship, who you love. It doesn't matter if your dad left you millions when he died or if you knew who your father was. You have been honed into a machine of lethal moving parts that you would be wise to avoid if you know it's good for you. We will not be intimidated. We will not back down. And it's war. We don't want war. But if you want war with the United States of America, there's one thing I can promise you, so help me God. Someone else will raise your sons and daughters.
Military Broadcast Radio, the station that's giving veterans a voice.
Find us on the web at mbradio.com.
And do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
Find us on the web at mbradio.us.
Hi, folks. I'm MJ. I host the World of Conscious Positive Thinking, where we take old belief patterns and we flip them into the most conscious, positive ways that we can go to have balance, peace, and harmony in our life. So what are you doing with those old belief patterns and old belief systems that you really don't believe in anymore, but you're told to do it? Well, we're going to flip them right here on the World of Conscious Positive Thinking, right here on our beautiful mbradio.us. It's a test. It's a test. It's a test. Hey, I'm back. Look at that. So welcome, Miss Judith Second, since you didn't hear me. And today we have our infamous Miss Kim. If you saw my Reiki show 1 or 2 shows ago, you'll know what I'm talking about. It is that energetic hold that we can help assist and align and center and just help people go straight. It's not Western medicine. It's not Eastern medicine. It's now an alternative medicine. A lot of hospitals have it. A lot of hospitals are doing it. So what is the difference between all of those? How do we get started? How do you heal yourself? Have you been going to conventional counseling and it just doesn't work? And you may want to try something else or in conjunction with. It is all going to play out. It is all going to be a beautiful time. Tonight, I got to tell you, right here on nbradio.us, where all the veterans always have a voice, it is rehabilitation and revocation. Year is a Beyond the Headline show with Mr. Joel Hunt, Miss Terry Lynch, and myself. We'll be here to talk about everything going on around our nation and world. And we'll try to put a flip pattern in case it's making you a little bit angry, a little bit edgy. And we're going to go ahead and flip that for you. But we'll get back to that tonight at 7 o'clock. But today, got my girl, Miss Kim. Keeps us straight and narrow. And every time we feel in the dumps, matter if you graduated or not, guess who's going to answer that phone for you? That's right. She's always going to answer that phone. Why? Because she cares. You have to have a teacher who cares. You have to have somebody who has healed predominantly a lot of what goes on inside of them, because she's not going to transfer it to you. So how does she do it? How does it work? What does the classes in conjunction have to do with it? She just doesn't do Reiki. She does them all. She does like chakras. She does this. She does that. I mean, she's all over the place. But there's always one thing we know that she does do. She answers that text or she answers that phone. No matter if you are a graduating student, no matter if you're starting, or no matter if you're not even a student at all, she's still going to help you. That is who she is. She is service to others. I always tell her she should have a coat of armor just like the military people, because that's what she does. She brings in just that beautiful bouquant light, and I don't know. She is an amazing little creature. And I'm not saying it because she's my Hierophant. She's my sister. No, I'm not saying it like that. I'm just saying that maybe and hopefully we'll open up. And if anybody out there is listening, maybe we can just find somebody to come in and say, hey, MJ, I think I want to talk. Okay, well, you know what? If that's the case, you come right in and talk, and she'll bring you that peace of mind as well. So without further ado, let's go ahead and let's take a quick little break, and then we will bring her on and we will see what she has to say, since I've already wasted the first, I don't know how many minutes of the show not hearing me. So we're just going to skip all the hooplas, and we're going to go to bring her in right after we hear from Third Class. You know what it is. It's Into the Light. You got it. So we're going to bring her in after Third Class. So stay tuned. Hold on.
I'll never know until I walk into the light.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
The web at mbradio.com.
Walk into the light. There it is, third class. You know they should be my anthem because it is such a beautiful song, and it's such a beautiful song because you know what time it is?
The interview of the week is brought to you by Jersey Mike's, a sub above.
Is Miss Kim. Hello, Miss Kim. How is Jersey treating you?
Good morning. Jersey is just fine. Jersey is Jersey. We got it all.
Over there?
It's chilly. It's
Yeah.
chilly. Yeah. I mean, you need a slight jacket, but it's good. It's good.
Well,
There's
you
no
would never
rain
believe
today.
it's June. You would never believe it's June. What's going on?
Oh, I think Mother Earth is twisting her axis, and eventually we're not going to have our old conditioned 3 months. That's my belief. I believe that it's shifting. And so instead of the traditional that we grew up with, summer being, it has to be, June, July, and August, and then fall was September, October, November. I believe it's just shifting. And so June is truly going to be more like our May time.
Yeah.
But, don't quote me on that. Morning, Terry. Oh, that's MJ. Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. Good morning to Jackie, Terry. Good morning. Boy, I tell you what, I got a lot of response, Kimmy, with you coming on. It woke up Miami. They were like jazz hands down there.
I do have to do a shout out though to Joel, because I do welcome Quack. I mean, as a speech therapist, he used that so well. It's so beautiful, and it makes you smile because it's a little duck, So
He just buttercupped you, Joel. I told Joel, I go, hey, it says welcome and it says quack. I go, you calling me a quack?
Yeah, no. I'm like, a wordplay on back. It's quack because it's a duck. I'm like, I love that. I find myself using it periodically, especially when I sub in the schools. And I think to myself, the kids are coming in. I'm like, welcome, quack. I'm like, they're not even going to know what I'm talking about.
Every time I see that, even in behind the heavens, I'm like, boom, 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 quack.
Yeah.
Quack. He goes,
no, I love that. Yeah, I love that. And one more thing, because it's the beginning. Okay, really, third class. I have searched all over Spotify. I did it in the eyes. He comes up. They come up as third class, but not walk into the light. I'm like, where can I actually find it besides listening to it? On your show? I'm stumped. So,
well, guess what? He's going to be a guest.
Oh,
I know. Jules arranged it, and he goes, I have a veteran who absolutely loves your music like this, and he goes, please go on her show. Yeah. She loves to go in depth in that song. I would love. He was a veteran as well, obviously, nice. And it's all about coming out the foxhole and seeing the light, but it plays so well with us.
It does. I mean, without even that knowledge, just the verse, walk into the light, is just so, I mean, I find myself just dancing whenever I hear it. And I did go search for it. So,
That's awesome. So let's talk about you, because this is your show. This is your date. I'm so thrilled. I'm like getting choked up.
Yeah. I think this is like show number 3, right? I'm on the trifecta now.
Yeah, you are. The trilogy, Father, Mother, God. Here you are.
Dude, I need 2 more, and then I'll be like Saturday Night Live. You're going to get me a jacket, right?
Maybe we'll get you a duck.
Oh, welcome, Quack. I love it. I'll take it. Yeah.
So can you explain to the viewers who may not have seen your other episodes,
sure,
who you are, your background, where you come from?
Sure. So I am a resident of New Jersey, but I was born and raised in Danville, Pennsylvania, so right across the bridge there. And my career was a speech language specialist in the public school settings. And so I graduated out of school and I got my teaching job, and I landed in Wharton, New Jersey, and I taught pre-K to 8th grade speech services. And I retired after 32 years of teaching services in 2021. And I started this company, Going to Kim's LLC. During that time of teaching, I got into the Reiki scene. And at the time, I didn't know anything different except Reiki and Reiki attunements. And that Reiki was hands-on healing and stuff like that always fascinated me. I was always looking into the psychics at the fairs and trying to read up on books that were, spiritual. My first book was The Celestine Prophecy by James Redfield, which was a really nice intro. I tried to read Eckhart Tolle first, The Power of Now, like that first one. He was way over my head at the time I read him. And that's not a down to him. That was just where I was at that particular time. Since then, I was able to go back and read his book and then fully comprehend everything that was in there. So I found a class that was being given at one of the local high schools here in the adult school, and it was for past lives. It was for like not past life regression, but almost like a many lives, many masters, like a Brian Weiss class. But it was just like, learn more about it. Right. And I asked my friend at the time, Jean, she's still my friend, but at the time, I know I'm in the past, right? So at the time, I said, would you like to go to this? And she's like, absolutely. We had talked spiritually stuff, just on our own. And we went and we loved it. It was so amazing. It was the first time I had a class with my teacher, Ida Diaz, and I was hooked. And I came home and I've taken everything she's ever put out. And I went through her classes were Reiki. And then after Reiki level 4, she's called the classes light therapy. And so I started that and I went all the way to level 12 and with the Reiki and then the beyond the Reiki light therapy. And in 2021, when I retired, I had asked Ida previously if I could teach. And at first, I could not. At first, I was not given permission to teach. And then I was given permission. And I'm so grateful. And I'm so honored that she allowed me to teach and write up the syllabuses in her honor. So after that, you graciously opened up stores, right? Look at how all that divineness happened. And in Florida, and invited me down to do it wasn't a class, it was like a forum. I mean, like it was a class, but it was a forum. It was right. It was a forum. It was like, what was this all about? Because people, as we know, or we don't know, I'm going to tell you, there are many spirals or branches of Reiki, right? So Yusui's Reiki tradition is here. And then out of that Reiki, these spindles, these veins appeared. Right. And so the light therapy piece to it was just one more of those radials that came out of the Reiki. And so then I started, and here I am. It brought me to the classes that I'm allowed to teach. It brought me, my favorite part of this whole thing is looking at and helping people clear their past life patterns. And so that's a really cool genre, another avenue that spiraled out of the Reiki light therapy. And I just started letting people know that I could heal, I don't actually heal. Okay, let me just clarify that. I don't actually heal. I help people who have patterns be able to notice them and allow them to heal themselves. All right. So I just want to clarify that.
Right. You're guiding the assistants for them to show the path, light
Correct.
their path, light their way into the light.
Into the light. Absolutely. Exactly. Yeah.
Right. That is so awesome.
Yeah.
So at any given point in the journey, some of the feedbacks, you hear, oh, it's too emotional. So at any given point on your journey going through the 12 steps of light therapy, did you feel an overwhelming of that in yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. There were levels that we would, all of us there, that we were just shedding. We were just shedding those tears, like you call diamonds, shedding them, releasing them. Some of them were gut wrenching. And even as the Reiki master light therapy teacher, even a year ago right now, I had another one that just brought me to my knees. And even I had to seek out Ida because it was so deep and so traumatic and so in other dimensions that I could not heal it myself as many times as I tried. My particular situation, the ego just was like, I don't think you're strong enough. And so even I had to go back to Ida, and it was gut wrenching. Not to mention that there were other situations. Like I don't want anybody to ever believe that just because you have a session and we clear the past life in that moment, that you're never going to have another event that's going to trigger you, because that would be very egoic of me and of the person, because that's not the reality. The reality is we clear what's happening today. Yes, it'll clear the past and it does clear the future, but you still have to go into the event, because I don't know how many events you put into your own. For me, the one that was very significant, it would have been my third event. So I did not clear it in the second one. And I did the first one, I wouldn't even known because it was so new. And then when that happened the second time, I'm like, oh, you're familiar. Okay, so let me practice. And then thinking, it was clear. And then the third one hit, going, wait a second, I need help here. And so then I went and cleared it. So there's no guaranteed. But what we do is we say to you, when you get into that event and it comes, right? There's a lot of things you can do. You can like, hey, I recognize you. Mary, I call you Mary, not MJ, but I'll call you MJ because that's what it says. MJ.
Okay.
Right. MJ would say,
don't call me late for dinner, I'm telling
you. She would say things like, hey, welcome back. Let's talk. It's that type of awareness when the event shows up that we want them to get into, right? Because it's all about being aware. You learn it, you heal it, and you now are aware that this trigger, this catalyst, this event may take place. I'm not saying it will, because I don't know how many events you put into your own place.
Yeah.
We give you your arrows for your quiver. And so back to, answering the phones, right? Yes, I always do get back to people, but I don't answer it in the moment if I can't.
I'm going to have you hold that thought because I have to go to break.
Oh my gosh, we've been talking that long?
It's 25 minutes. So,
no way. All right, play something really cool so I can dance in the background.
So, Kimmy.
Yeah.
I really want you to pay attention to some of these commercials because I think you'll enjoy them.
Okay.
When we come back, we're going to pick up where we left off. Hopefully we won't have any more little mic issues, but H-Train's behind the scene now. So we got it going. So we'll be right back. Listen to mbradio.us. I'm MJ here on the World of Conscious Positive Thinking with our special guest today, Kim Malley. Stay tuned. We're going to take a quick break. Might want to pay attention to some of these commercials.
It's time for a vacation, and Fairway Travels is here to share great specials for you to choose from. Discover the charm and features of one of Sandal's 16 all-inclusive luxury included, adults-only resorts. Or a family-friendly beaches destination in the Caribbean. Or how about a couples resort in Jamaica? If cruising's your preference, get thunderstroke aboard Carnival Cruise Lines or set sail on an award-winning Royal Caribbean ship. Join Virgin Voyages now for a wonderful adults-only sailing. It doesn't matter if you choose to travel by plane, train, automobile, cruise ship, or rowboat, we can help you reach your dream destination. Contact Fairway Travels today at 228-365-1012. That's 228-365-1012. Or email bookitnow247@gmail.com. Fairway Travels, where your journeys keep satisfying.
Hi, Kimmy. Hi, everybody. This is Gemma Lopez from Miami, Florida, down south in the hot, hot weather. I wanted to take a moment and just thank Kimmy. God, Kimmy, you're such a beautiful, beautiful light. And, oh, I'm going to end up crying. I can't believe this. I'm getting emotional already, and I haven't even started. Kimmy, you took me from, I liken it to the lotus flower, right? The lotus flower who grows through the mud and perseveres and comes out into the light and, you know, opens this beautiful flower. When I started with Kimmy, I was desperate. I was lack of energy, a lot of fatigue, a lot of mental fog. I just didn't feel well. I felt really burdened. I'm a physical therapist that works with the oncology population here in Florida, and my work is very hands-on. So by the time I got to Kimmy and thought about doing the classes, I was really exhausted, and I didn't know how to sort of maneuver that energy through me, how to rid the old energy, the negative energy, the energies that I absorbed from working in fluorescent lights all day in a room without a window for about 11 hours, and then just working with that population who has a lot of concerns and fears and anxieties and worries. And I was absorbing a lot of that, and I didn't know how to allow it to work through me. And so I was desperate when I got to Kimmy. And when I got to you, I don't know, what has it been? I guess almost 3 years, something like that. You took me from that state into a state now where I see human beings as a light, that we all have a journey that we're on. The only one that I can control is myself, and I have to just honor the path of others. And it's taught me patience with myself and others. It's taught me perseverance, and it taught me actually to just kind of go with the flow. Everything will work out for the greatest good. Our higher selves, our spiritual guides, and the people around us that we surround ourselves with, or we choose to surround ourselves with, it's all there to allow for a greater purpose. I found out that my purpose is that of a light being, and I am here to bring joy and healing and love and compassion to everybody. Kimmy taught me that, but I had to go through a lot of muck to get there. There were classes where I cried, classes where I was angry, classes where I had what I call healing crises for several days or several weeks after the classes. But then the purpose of those classes and what I learned, they came forth, and I was able to take what I learned and just apply it to my everyday life. I allowed myself to release things I didn't realize I was holding, things from childhood that you think you kind of tucked away, or things that you really thought never bothered you, and it came up during classes, and it was okay. Kimmy provided me with a safe space. She allowed me to express myself, whether it was crying, whether it was not knowing. She just made me feel like it was okay to be me, and that's what we did. And Kimmy, I will forever be grateful to you for allowing me to work through that muck, right, in order to become this beautiful flower that I am now, that I always was, but I just didn't see it. And I thank you from the very bottom of my heart. I love you, and whoever you teach from here on out, you are truly going to be blessed if you do classes with Kimmy, and on so many levels, energetically, spiritually, emotionally, mentally, physically. It's all part of the same entity. So thank you again, and you guys will not regret it if you decide to do classes with Kimmy. So thank you very much, everybody. Kimmy, I love you. Bye.
Oh my gosh.
Kimmy, hold that thought. Hold that thought. Here we go. Oh, bam! Who is that? Holy jinkies! They're coming out.
Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
We have Miss Mary Lopez, everybody. These are students who knew that Kimmy was coming on and they wanted either to do a video. So our commercials, Kim, is going to be some videos. And I have some beautiful pop-in guests who so want to just give you their honor. We have Mary Lopez, new owner of Esmeralda Saltier Retreat. We love her. She's getting it together. She may not only have one, she may have a couple. You have to stay tuned for that one, Kim, because your little school teachings might be at different locations throughout South Florida there, and that is going to be absolutely phenomenal. And we have so many people. We got Angel Ruiz. Hello, good morning. We have another Angel Ruiz. Then we have another Angel Ruiz. Who is that Angel Ruiz? And then, of course, we have the guy. Got to dip for a bit. Okay, so Mary, welcome to Miss Kim's show. I know that you are as well a student of Miss Kim's. What classes have you taken? And please give us some insight. I'll help you if you need, but I think you got it.
Okay, here.
Nope, can't hear. Can't hear. It is a can't hear kind of day. What is going on? Yep. Mary, get on your phone. That's what Kimmy had to do.
Yeah, it didn't work on the phone either, but
nope. Not sure what's happening.
You know what's so funny is that H said good morning, Marilyn, in the chat, and I was like, Marilyn? Like, my name is Kim.
Yeah. Let's see if Marilyn can't fix our sound system. Maybe on the phone, we can get her up there.
You guys are too funny. Oh, Gemma. That was my honor.
You hear me here?
Woo! Yes, you did. There you go.
Turn off and mute. There you go. Better?
Yes.
Yes. How are you, ladies?
We are fantastic. We're having all kinds of issues, but I'm going to tell you something. Solar flares are very, really popular, especially right now, because energetics all over is going to play a contributing factor. So bear with our beautiful Mother Earth and Mother Nature and our universe, because solar flares, there's big things out there. Electronics are going to be affected. So that's what they're blaming it on. Anywho, go Marilyn, go.
I am so excited to be here to see MJ Kim. It's so not fair that I have to go after listening to Gemma. My eyes were teary. I was choking up, and I was just living everything that she said, just reliving that first moment that I saw the classes that Kimmy was offering at the cave. And I remember, and I think MJ's going to remember that, or I think it was Kimmy, the one that I said, okay, sign me up Friday for Reiki 1, Saturday for Reiki 2, Sunday for Reiki 3. And you're like, it doesn't work like that. I have to allow you I have to ask permission, and then you're able to go forward. So the first moment I took the class, I knew I needed to do something more. Corporate America, I was running a huge business, doing, staying busy, kind of on autopilot, like everyone, right?
Yeah.
And I just knew I needed to do something. And I've loved MJ and the Salt Cave forever and a day. So when I heard about the classes, I knew I wanted in, right? So after that first class, I remember, I went outside and I just, I had to clear so many things that I knew I had to deal with, and others that I had no idea I had to deal with, right? And going through my light therapies, going through my Reiki levels, it just has changed me. I've always been extremely positive. People see me, whether they see me in person or they call me, we're on the phone, new people, clients I don't even know about. and they just tell me, they're like, Marilyn, your energy is amazing. And I know that I have my Kimmy and my MJ to thank for that, because I have evolved into a place where I have, dealt with certain things that weren't easy, but with you, whatever I had gone through and whatever I've had to deal with, you guys make it that much easier. It has changed me. My family knows, my kids knows, for the better, right? I can't look forward, the classes can't come soon enough, right? Even with my difficulty just meditating, because my mind was always, in thinking about this and thinking about the cat and thinking about the door, and just on autopilot, and I couldn't concentrate. And you always told me, just let it be. You're going to find your place. You're going to meditate. You're going to know. So I am so thankful for both of you. Kimmy, you are, I speak extremely highly of both of you. You guys are, I look up to both of you. I'm just so thankful. So thankful.
You're the best.
And Mary, have you graduated, or what level are you in?
I am going into light therapy 9, I believe, next.
Wow.
So I'm excited. I can't wait to see you both.
Now, do you do the chakra classes as well with Miss Kim?
I believe I did chakra 1, and possibly 2. And I know I did a pendulum class as well. So I have my pendulums, my variety, and I always go to them for from those difficult questions, right? And I love it. I love it. Kimmy is just amazing.
Mary, I thank you so much. I have another guest in our back. I love you. I'll be down to
I love you, girls.
soon.
I love you, Marilyn. You're the best, man.
Sorry,
Thank you.
Yeah.
Mike, I don't know what's happening here today with this, but it all works out divinely. These solar flares, they're little rascals,
Yeah.
And so,
Well, before you go, Marilyn, I just want to say you reconnected to your inner truth, right? So that was the guidance, and you have done that so splendidly. It was always there, right? Now you guided back, and you're back home, and it just shows it every day. And that's what the people see when they call it your energy. It is literally you went home, and you're home.
So true.
Yeah, and you shine so brilliantly.
wow.
Yeah, I love you.
Thank you. I love you.
Mary,
Bye,
Kim,
ladies.
I'll be down there. Your family is all on there. Look at
Yes.
Nathan, Angel. God
My
love you
biggest
guys.
supporters.
I
Thank
feel
you.
like they're my family too. I love the little.
It's our family. Our family. That's right.
All right, Mary. I'll see you in Miami.
Bye,
Really
guys.
Bye. Mwah.
Okay, Kim.
Mary.
I know this was
Dude,
not.
my tissues are all the way on the other side of the room. I'm gonna have to use my sheets here.
I think another one waiting. You hold on now. Ready? Get that sheet ready. Here she comes. Bam! Miss Jennifer.
Hi.
Divine Jewelry is in the house. I can't believe it.
Phyllis is with me too. She's
love
a
the
judgy lady.
Look at the flamingo. So beautiful. Oh my God, Jenna.
Oh my gosh. I miss you guys. I love you. How are you?
Good. I'm good. Well, listen, complaining doesn't work anyway, so it's all good.
Now, surprise, surprise, Jennifer, Gemma, but like Gemma, she has graduated. In fact, she was one of Kimmy's first to take classes in Miami. She was inspired and hell bent. She's doing it, and she inspired quite a few people as well to take Miss Kim's classes. So I'm going to let Jennifer tell her story. Go ahead, Jen.
Tell my story. My gosh, where to begin? It's funny because MJ asked me to pop in and say a few things about the classes, and I'm like, wow, that's tough because 4 years. It took me 4 years. And what a journey in 4 years. I mean, an evolution that I'm so thankful for. And what a beautiful what a beautiful journey. You know, it you kind of dip your toe into this stuff. Let's just call it stuff. You kind of start dipping your toe into it. Started off also, Marilyn mentioned Pendulum. You know, and I'll never forget that first class. I don't think we did the Reiki first. I think we did the Pendulum first, right? Was
Yeah,
that?
It was
talk
my
about
first
that
class
class. That
ever.
class was poo-poo for me.
Well, yeah, I know. I was there. I was there in your poo-poo class. And so I'll never forget, we're sitting on the floor of the salt cave before the salt cave had salt in it, or the perf. And I mean, it had salt on the walls. And Kim just looks up at me and she's like, you know, you're gifted. You're gonna have to. And I'm like,
What?
what? What? But that just kind of, I dipped my toe into that, and the whole journey is heal the healer, right? So
Yes.
there's a lot of stuff that you have to kind of.
Yes.
I caught the tail end of Gemma's talk, and she said, you know, the mucky muck, and it's not just all mucky muck. There's a lot of beautiful,
Oh, yeah.
beautiful connections, and a lot of things that you really just touch your soul, and given me the confidence and the awareness, an awareness that I never knew that I had, because everybody has it. Everybody has intuitive gifts. It's just that we're so taught to drown them out.
Yeah.
And what a beautiful connection in terms of walking through all of the steps. Um, forever grateful. You know, we've talked about that, and
Yeah.
you both are my soul sisters, and have brought me to a level that I never thought I needed or was part of. So grateful. In discussing the classes for light therapy, you know, everybody says they're a Reiki master. There's a lot of Reiki masters out there. The thing that I really love about the light therapy is that it really focuses on heal the healer. Because I think you kind of have to clear away some of the shrapnel before you're available to be a vessel to help other people transmute their shrapnel.
I like
And
how that shrapnel whirled into there. You
yes,
connected that. There you go. You connected.
so that's really what it is. It's emotional shrapnel, energetic shrapnel, and you know, we get thrown stuff at us all the time. And now it's funny because when I'm down or when something's off, I stand still. I go ground myself, and I use the tools that I've been given. Um, you know, not to say that it's not it's an amazing thing when we're able to connect and communicate and be together. There's nothing like it. There really isn't. So I'm looking forward to those retreat centers opening up, and trips to the north. I will definitely be doing that. And I'm also excited. I'm not sure. I didn't catch. I know Marilyn's in the process of, or maybe she already has an open Esmeralda South here
Coming.
still.
Coming.
So
I think there's going to be 2 or 3 of them.
this is fantastic.
Yeah.
Really good. And who knows, maybe there'll be one near my next home too.
There you go. Hey, I love how you're thinking.
Who knows? Who knows? Who knows
Yeah.
what's gonna happen? But yeah, that's just something that's amazing. And I wouldn't be who I am today if it wasn't for this journey. You know, again, it's just no words can. And I've got my Amazonite tower here. It's trying to help me. I'm like, I was trying to convey into words the amazing lessons and all of the journey. Yeah, Gemma, she's such a sweetheart. But just not only that, it's the community too. All the beautiful people that I've met through this process, and I think Marilyn mentioned something about being vetted. So what's interesting is that you sign up for these classes and you think, okay, I'm going to take these classes, and I'm just nope, it doesn't work that way. No, ma'am, it does not work that way.
Father, Mother, God says no.
Right, right. So you have to kind of be energetically vetted in order to progress. And that was good because I remember, I think it was light therapy 6, which so when Kim first came down, because I was already a Reiki master, we tried to do it at starting light therapy
Yeah.
5.
Remember that.
And we did light therapy 5, and then I went into light therapy 6, and I was blessed to have a one-on-one light therapy class with Kim, and we were in the plant room in
Yes.
Esmeralda's. Yeah.
Yes.
And I'll never forget that we were going on and we were doing all of the meditations and everything else, and there was a denial of me moving forward at that point, and I haggled. I haggled with those. I haggled with the, I was like, I get it. They needed me to do more work in order for me to go on, and I had to confess that, and I had to admit that, and I had to acknowledge that, and then I was given the green light to progress. So it was just amazing how all of that kind of came into play, and I'm so grateful that I'm at where I'm at. Every day I use everything that I've been, not everything.
I know.
Okay, that's a little over exaggerated, but again, too many words, maybe too many. Maybe I need to pick up something else. Okay. Derutilated at this point. Wait a minute. Wait. There's more. Fluoride. Fluoride helps focus. Anyway, yeah, there's just, I'm always lucky enough to have the gifts and the skills that have been given to me through the light therapy courses. And if you ever have an opportunity to do a course with Kim and MJ together, it's just magic. It really is. And and yeah, see, do you guys like my little disclaimer? I don't charge for awesome.
Yes, exactly.
I do. So Miss Jennifer Dunbar, she has a company called Just Divine Jewelry. Kimmy and I took her mala beading class. She taught us how to put the knots in the mala with our intentions, but she also does all beautiful jewelry. Check her out, justdivinejewelry.com. We do need to go to commercial.
I want to plug her. I want to plug her Russian gypsy cards too, because dude, I had a session, and honestly, Jenna, your gift, baby. We talked. It's so beautiful, so beautiful.
My Russian gypsy, that girl. I love her.
Right. That's right. And it was anything I've ever seen.
Yeah, definitely. Well, we all have to get together soon, even if it's virtually. I love you guys to pieces.
I love you too.
Miss Jennifer, thank you so much for taking your time. We're going to have to take a little quick break here. When we come back, we'll be talking more to Miss Kim and about how she holds these classes and when she does them. We'll talk a little bit about what they're calling vetting, just for a little clarity on that matter. Again, Just Divine Jewelry, Jennifer Dunbar. Thank you. Thank you
guys. Love you.
Give hugs to Joe, baby.
Will do. Bye.
Bye. All right, Kim, so we're going to go on another break, but I really need you to pay a little bit of attention, okay? Here we go.
Tune in to Clado's Cacophony of Sound every Saturday night from 9 p.m. to 12 a.m. Eastern on Military Broadcast Radio at mbradio.us or on Twitch at DJ_Clado. MBR, giving veterans a voice. The state.
Surprise! Kimmy! Hi, Kimmy. I hope you're surprised. I know you will be. MJ asked us all to kind of touch base and how we feel and how we felt before starting your classes. And boy, I knew I was ready for a change. And there you were. And I'll tell everybody the reason that I took your courses was to help myself. And I think, sorry, I keep looking because I'm at work. Shh. I did it for me. And I think that is important to take these courses for you. So the chakra classes, the Reiki classes, the pendulum class, all of that was for me. Selfish, maybe? I don't think so. I think you need to start there. What I learned was less anger. What I learned was confidence. What I learned was kindness. It goes a long way and it comes back tenfold. What I learned was to believe in my gut and my intuition and trust it. I knew as a child there was something, and it took me getting extremely sick and hospitalized just before these courses and to sign up for these classes. And I'm not finished yet. I have 11 and 12 to go. I can't wait, but I can't thank you enough, because all of this and all of my belief, and I believe that the universe gives you back what you put out, and it brought me here to my happy place in the breeze. Don't worry, the mosquitoes will be biting soon. But Kimmy's amazing. She's kind, she listens, she's always there. And go for it. Take that class. Learn to say love and light, even in that bad traffic, like I do, because I'm in Miami. But that's just one thing. I laugh, I make a joke about it, but I learn to honor myself and take care of myself. And it's okay. It is okay. So thank you, Master Kimmy. I love you to the moon and back. And I hope you were really surprised. Much love. I love you.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
The web at mbradio.com.
Well. It is like one surprise after the other. I mean, who would have thought?
Seriously. When do you have time to do all this?
So, Kim, I want to ask you, I'm not even going to answer that question because they had the time. God love each and every one of your students who I just graciously asked that I was coming on. And I was like, sometimes it's really hard unless there's validation, right? Because interpretation is it's a hell of a thing. It really is a hell of a thing. So I want to go back to the vetting, okay? Because I want to make sure in case anybody, questions that and they don't understand. It's not really Kimmy vetting.
No.
Right. It is not. So I'm going to let you answer that.
Okay. All right. So for the series, please remember that I was granted permission to teach. Okay. So it wasn't that I got this certificate that had teacher written after it, right? Because light therapy does not teach teachers. Okay. So when I was given the gift, the permission to teach, it was the ability to make sure that divine allows those who are ready to move forward. And so I was able to take that and ask, meaning the level 1, anybody can join level 1. So whether it's level 1 Reiki or level 1 Chakra 1, everybody was allowed to join. It was from that point, that springboard point, that the vetting starts. And they need time to process. They need time to go within, learn what they learned in small chunks and understand what was happening within each class. And some people were able to learn it, process it, and heal it in a short amount of time. And some people still, they decided that it wasn't for them. or divine said, you're not ready for the next level. And they may have taken it as, oh, well, it's just not for me. But it's a matter of energetically making sure that your foundation is laid fully. Because if you were to be bombarded with all of it at one time, it would be way too much. And so it's baby steps. And so tapping in and asking your higher self and divine whether or not they are ready to move on. It's not a question of are they allowed to? You're all allowed to. It's a rather, are you ready? Is your dynamic, is your psyche, is your social, is your spiritual, is your healing to the level that requirement for the next? What that requirement is, I have no privy to that. When I ask if you are ready to move to the next level, I get a yes or a no. That is not something that I delve into. To me, that's none of my business, right? Because you're on your own journey. Now, if you question it, like Jenna said, right? And I was questioned, and that's part of humanity, right? Well, why can't I? What about me? What's wrong with me? So not that Jenna said those things, but that idea of, wow, wait a second, I thought I could just go here, 1, 2, 3. And when I'm given a no, people do. It's human nature to say, what did I do wrong? And it's not a wrongness. It is there's something there. Even maybe it's not even you. Maybe divine already knew that at the time of the class, there was going to be something that you couldn't take it anyway. Right? Maybe your car broke down. Maybe I say water heaters because I'm here in Jersey, but maybe you need a new, water heater. Maybe you need a new roof. Maybe you don't even know why you can't take the next course, but your higher self knows, right? Your multiple dimensions knows, your divineness knows. And so I always just go with that. If I get a no that you're not ready, it's not a bad thing. It's not that you've done something wrong, right? If you believe that you did, then automatically I think to myself, then that's why you can't move on, because you're not at the point where you can accept what's happening. Like it's really more of a self-image or a fear of, being wrong, perhaps, which opens up a whole nother dynamic for maybe a session. Maybe let's look into why you are so concerned that you can't move on or didn't. I myself was not granted into 12th level. I was at level 11 for a long time. And my other people in my group, you too.
How many times did I have to do 6?
Yes, right? Yes. So again, I believe that vetting is a unique situation to this. Now, again, it goes back to vetting, however Reiki masters vet, it goes back to vetting your clients, right? So when somebody refers somebody to you, or somebody says, hey, I would like to, right? The first thing we do is, am I energetically correct for this person? Is what I have to offer going to energetically mesh with this person? And if I get a yes, then we go for it, right? We go for it, whatever it is, the Reiki session, the past life clearings, now we're into the frequencies, maybe. But if I get a no, I'm not energetically, that's hard. It's even hard for the therapist to say, you know what, I'm not sure I'm the one to help you, but here's somebody that may be able to help you. And again, that if I didn't do that, or anybody didn't do that, that it presents a possibility of being very egoic, and our egos need to take a back seat. We don't want to hide the ego. We don't want to eliminate the ego, but we do want our egos to take a back seat in some instances, because our egos truly just, they're there to, cause us to suffer, or to bring out that suffering, which then is a trigger, which then is, oh yeah, shit, I got to do something here. I don't want to be like this. Thank you, ego, for making me feel this way, because this is something I have to heal. Right. So that vetting takes all of that out. It takes all of that right out. Are you ready for the next level? And
speaking of the next level, there's somebody at the door. I need to answer it. Okay. Let's see who's next at our door.
Professor Proton. Ding dong.
Oh! Magic. Well, I don't know him as Magic. I know him as Tony and Tim Barella, and he is Olmsted Yoga, and he has a beautiful yoga community down in South Florida. And I'm gonna let him tell his story, but he is like, he claims that he took Reiki twice before he actually came to Miss Kim's class. So I'm gonna introduce Tony. Tony, good morning. How is South Florida?
Good morning. South Florida is amazing. It's good to see you guys.
Good to see you. Good to see you. So how did it come about with Miss Kim? How did that happen after 2 Reikis?
Well, yeah. So like you said, I did 2 Reiki sessions because the first one was during the pandemic, and I didn't really know what Reiki was, but I knew that I was an energy healer. So I was just trying to refine what I was already working with. So I did an online Reiki course. And when I was done with that, they're like, okay, you're a Reiki master, go out there and teach Reiki. But in my heart, I didn't feel like I understood anything. So I was like, no, I can't call myself a Reiki practitioner. That's not authentic to who I am. So about a year later, or maybe even 2 years, one of my instructors at my studio was a Reiki teacher. So she says, take my training. So I did her training. And once again, I was just like, nah, it's just not who I am. It's not feeling authentic to where I was. So I was guided to Kali Square, where MJ had a crystal shop. And I was just trying to buy crystals to help me align with my chakras, to help me work with my clients, to see if I could understand the 2 trainings that I just took. And in that process of buying crystals, I started talking to MJ in the middle of the street in front of her other shop, which is a salt cave. And she's like, there's so many different Reiki practitioners and teachers that you might align with. So don't give up. So I said, well, is there any that you could recommend? She said, well, I can't really tell you where to go. Like, that's something you have to decide. But one of the people that she said was Diane, and she says Kimmy, and she said, there was a couple other people. But when she said the word Kimmy, not even knowing that they were sisters, there was some sort of feeling that I got that I was like, whoever that is, that's the one I want to try. I don't know why, but it was just like, I knew, like an internal knowing, like an intuitive feeling, like when I'm doing my energetic sessions on my clients, it was like, okay, this is the one that I feel I resonate with. So I said, sign me up, like I'm ready to go. And it was the best decision I think I could have ever made. And I didn't even know what I was stepping into. I had no idea there was 12 levels. I had no idea that I was going to end up doing the chakra courses and have to go through all these extra processes and workshops. And I was like, man, I stepped into something where it aligned with me, though, because I'm not the kind of person that likes shortcuts. Well, I do. Let me rephrase that. I like to see things as fast as possible, but I like it to be as authentic as I possibly can.
Yeah.
So that's how I ended up in Kimmy's Reiki light therapy 12 levels, including the 7 levels of chakra. Plus, I even had some one-on-ones with her, some ancestral lineage clearings, and all sorts of stuff that just aligned with me at that time. So yeah, it was an amazing journey.
Yeah.
Can I ask you a question, Tony? Because
Of course.
there's not a lot of men who come into these classes, and you as I'm going to say it like this, a straight narrow guy, because I'm on a military channel. Sure. I understand everybody is whole to you, everybody is one. But for sakes, it is emotional. And it is okay to allow those emotions, because those emotions trap. do you resonate with that? How I speak about that?
Yes, because I was very egotistical and I was very protected of what I thought I had to protect at that time. So yeah, I could see that.
That you came from an old family pattern. We don't cry. I'll give you something to cry about, kind of thing.
Yes. Oh my God. Yes. Don't, like when I was growing up, like I would have emotions, and coming from my own family, like, stop that crying, be a man. And for years, decades, I was like, what does it mean to be a man? Like, does that mean I don't have emotions? Because I have a ton of them and they're just dying to come out of me, but I'm not allowed to express myself. So I was like, okay, so I need to really dive deep into this. And that's how I got on the yoga journey. That's how I got on the spiritual path. Is I'm trying to figure out what it means to be a man.
Yeah.
And what I found out was to be a man is to open up and surrender and just to fully embody everything.
Yeah, to balance. Really, the female. I love your words. Sisters. No, but I truly, and I know Kim will say it too, but that is a balance of honoring the feminine energy in all of us and the masculine energy in all of us. And
100%.
Yeah, I was very masculine in my development until I started, and I had to learn where my feminine was. And it was just who I was with my armor. And I so appreciate that masculine thought process, because there's a lot of people who don't understand that. And there's a lot of people who will patooey, but here it is. The theory is, if that counseling that you're going to, my PTSD and my TBI people, if you continue or going to counseling on the physical and it's not helping, listen, there's Tony, a man, a straight man, because I know you guys on this station, and there's no difference. I don't care if you're not straight. I don't want to make that clear too, because I'm, whatever. The thing of it is, it's a conditioned pattern by what?
Man.
And that's not a man male. It is a man by human that we always talk about in the world of conscious positive thinking. Tony, thank you. I have to make that, because sometimes people don't understand, and especially the guys.
Sure. And just like you, I was in my feminine so much as well, because I was raised by women. I was raised by my mother, my sister, my grandmother, my aunts. The men in the family were not there. They were at work, and they would tell me, like, you're just a kid. Like, you have no business going out with us. And they were doing construction and they're doing all the manly stuff. And I was like, but I want to do that. And no, you have to stay home with the women. So I was watching women cook and clean and do stuff like that. So that was all I knew. So, which is not a bad thing, because now I'm a man who cooks and cleans and bakes and knows how to do all that. So I really honor that fact. But
Tony is
the men,
single. I'm just saying, Tony's single. He has all the beautiful traits of the feminine, and now he's bounced to the other side. Perfect individual out there. I'm just giving that shout out. Well, we have to go to break. Kimmy, I'm going to give you a few. We have about 2 minutes before I have to take a break.
I am so proud of you, Tony. I truly am. You're so welcome. You're so welcome. And there, you could talk to the vetting process, right? It is like, it's that initial shock until you become aware. And the whole thing is about being aware, right? Once we
100%.
are aware, once we're aware, everything opens up. Yeah. What a beautiful journey it was watching you take. Because it was
a beautiful journey watching you guide me in that process, and just trust, like, we had to trust each other to say, like, this is the person who can guide me, because there's billions of people in this world I can choose from.
Absolutely.
And each one of those people may benefit me, but I chose you for a particular reason. You chose me to be my guide. So like there was a mutual agreement to say, yes, we can work together. It's not just egoic saying, you're going to be my teacher, or yes, I could teach you. It was an agreement between two people.
Exactly.
With no judgment, no placement.
No.
Exactly.
But I didn't understand that back then. It was just like, give me my certificate.
Yeah. Let me move on. Yeah.
Right. So Tony, a little bit. So I felt when I graduated, and I know you just newly graduated, and we're so super proud of that achievement here. February or March here, and I found that after I graduated, it's been like I kind of lost a little bit of knowing that every 3 months I was going to see Kim, or knowing every 3 months I was going to be energetically sourced. And it becomes like a little bit of a teeter-totter, right? And a little bit of a die back. But all of those skills, have you felt like that? Have you be able to utilize those skills or hear her words come back in going, let's check, let's do this? Have you been able to do that?
Absolutely. But yeah, at the very beginning, like when I first graduated, it was like a happy sensation. Like, yes, I've graduated. But at the same time, I was like, oh no, like I'm not going to be able to go back and like have these trainings anymore. So what do I do? Like, do I have it? Did I retain all the information? Because you know me, I never took notes in your class. Everybody had pens and papers. My pens always seemed to blow up in class. I don't know why. So I could never actually write. I would always forget my glasses. So I couldn't even read what you had on the pamphlets. So I was like, all right, I'm going to remember what I need to remember. And, you know, just I trust. And let me tell you what, when you trust and you just understand, I didn't need notes. I didn't need to read any of the pamphlets. What you said to me imprinted into me. So even when you're not there, I feel your energy saying, okay, let's look at this a different way. And like you always used to say, like, okay, well, how are you asking this question? I was like, what do you mean, how am I asking the question? I'm asking from my mouth. Like, I never understood what you were saying. But then there's like, okay, I get it now. Like, there's so many different ways to ask a question to get the response that we need at this time.
Correct. Correct. Without manipulating the response, right? That's the other thing. People think that we manipulate the responses or the answers based on the questions. And yes, that can be true, but we don't teach that, right? We teach that, like, think how you're asking it. Make sure you're being very, specific yet general, and
the way you teach is you allow us to find the answer. You're not actually giving us the answer to say, oh, this is the answer you're looking for. Here you go, take this with you. No, you're saying, like, look within yourself, because the answer is already within you. You don't need to seek externally for the answer. I'm just guiding you into yourself so that you can say, this is who I am, because you don't know who I am at the moment. You know, we are co-creating to learn different versions of ourselves, because we're all one.
Yes. Beautiful set. I'm glad it's being recorded.
Yeah, me too.
Take that out and use it. Just that little piece out, Tony. You're the bomb.
You are.
Thank you so much. Listen, we do have to go to. I'm hearing birds in my ear, so we need to take this
corporation.
Break. I know. Tony, again, it is Olmsted Yoga Community. You can find him. He goes all over. He has a also Thai Vedic energy healing that he does. He is a beautiful yoga instructor. His cadence is absolutely wonderful. And of course, we all have healed within to try to assist to heal others. And he is a prime example of understanding egos, judgments, faults, like all of us, and standing in it and honoring it. Thank you, Tony. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And I got to go because I'm going to get all that. So here we go. Stay tuned.
Thank you, Tony.
Love you guys.
Love you too. Love you.
Bye.
I wouldn't be here if not for your faith, if not for your love, if not for your saving grace. I'd be a loner, forgotten and small, climbing a mountain that's too big and too tall. But because you love me, because you care, I can do anything, anytime, anyhow.
my name is Mel, and I'd love to share my thoughts on my journey with light therapy Reiki. Specifically, this wonderful 12-level system taught and passed down to my master, Kimmy, from Ida Diaz. When I first considered taking these courses, I was in a transitional mindset. I was searching, not just for healing, but for a deeper connection to my inner self, to energy, to purpose. Life felt overwhelming at times, and I knew there had to be more tools, more peace, more guidance. I remember weighing my options. I had tried other healing modalities before, not to the same effect, I feel, but something about light therapy Reiki stood out. I was drawn to its structure, its depth, and the 12 levels felt like a full journey, not just a weekend workshop. The deciding factor for me was trust. I trusted Kimmy, her energy, her presence, her story. It all resonated deeply. It felt like this was a path she was walking authentically, and I wanted to walk it too, as I feel like all Reiki masters do. While taking the courses, I felt many things. At times I felt challenged as old energies would rear their ugly head and they would be released, but I also felt deeply supported. The attunements were powerful. Each level opened something new, within me at least, whether that was emotional release, clarity, or increased intuition. And if you finally finished all 12 levels, you know what I mean when I say it's the transformation. By the end, it didn't just feel like a different person. I felt like a more authentic version of myself. I began to trust myself more. I listened to my inner voice. I understood energy on a whole new profound level. And these teachings aren't just something I use in sessions. They're with me in my everyday life. When I walk in a room, I feel the vibration. When someone I love is hurting, I can send energy with intention, obviously with permission. Even when I'm overwhelmed or anxious, I now have tools to ground and clear myself. And it's not just a spiritual practice, it's just a way of living. So, I'm incredibly grateful to Kimmy, to Ida, and to everyone in this lineage. This isn't just Reiki, it's light, it's legacy, and it's love. Thank you so much for listening. Have a great day.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard, MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
The web at mbradio.com.
Hey, welcome back. We are here, mbradio.us, where veterans always get to have a voice. Today, I'm MJ on my show here on this beautiful station, World of Conscious Positive Thinking, with Miss Kim Malley. We call her Master because she is our master. And there has been an outpour of just beautiful students who just wanted to let Kim know that they're here to support her. And it's just, those tears are just, and they're so beautiful. It's grateful. It's an honoring. And to watch every denomination and religious being. I mean, we've had now paganism, we've had Judaism, we've had Christianity, we've had Hinduism, my gosh, every walk of life can take these. Why? Because it is a course that takes you to its highest level that you can be. And it's about you. And that's when I worked with my vets in Miami, and I worked with all different denominations and all levels of people, it was just a transformation that hits you. I don't know the course, the actual level that it just soul punched. And I know for me, I got stuck at 6. And that is just because it just opened up my soul's Akashic libraries. And it was overwhelming. It was mind-blowing and overwhelming, a knowing that I could never have known in this life. and a vibration that had taken me further. I'm so thankful for each and every one of you who have chimed in with Miss Kim. And it's not over because now we get to hear Miss Kim. Now that we've heard everybody talk about Miss Kim and how she talked in the beginning, and I'm like, hold that thought. Oh my God. So, Kimmy, I know you've taught a lot of children, and especially those who were either handicapped or had some type of disability in going ahead. And I know at one part you were like, I'm done teaching. And we had this conversation. And there was something inside of me. I literally, I think my Knight Templar armor wanted to just slap her going, what? Hey, I think you better turn around again. So that Templar inside of me asked her, how do you feel this? What would you feel? That you don't have to chase them and tell them no and be the disciplinary or have the ruler and say, okay, see, now you have a timeout. Now you have to go to So I understand that 35 years or 30, how many? It was more than 35. 32 years.
Well,
so 32 years of that, I understood. But the light that shines, the beacon that shines within her, and I get it. She's my sister, and I'm so proud she's my sister. And we go back and forth, even with some of these things you do. You might the ego, the healing that has to come. And I always felt like sometimes I would turn around just crying because I was yelling. I was like, "Don't you tell me!" And now you sit and you look. And you look at every walk of life where if they didn't get vetted, some, or, they're like, what? And it is that, and you see how transformative and it is just mind boggling how that energy system works. And it is beyond. And I always tell people in my groups, if conventional counseling isn't getting through, then there is deep-seated releases, and maybe they're after something on the war front that they're chasing a ghost because it's not there. That is a combination of metaphysical life and or childhood, pasthood traumas that is blended in, which this type of course just merges and opens all of that, which is how it is easier to let go. And then numerous of our students were counseled or in counseling, or they are psychologists and psych majors themselves. And that is almost, I love, and you always hear me on here saying, don't just go physical. Make sure whoever's counseling you is metaphysical and physical, or go get two. This is where it's at. This is why I brought Miss Kim on. So now I'm done. I'm going to go back to Kim. How do you feel about all of this?
Overwhelmed at the moment. Yeah, I am so humbled and honored with all of the words. It's like raising kids, right? You don't really know what you've done to them or, how you've raised them until they become adults themselves. And it's the same with students. You're not in the moment, you do the best you can and you give what you know to be the truth, or you seek it out and you try all these avenues, but you don't really know what your impact is until later, until you see them, at the end of the school year, or you see them as adults out in the, community, and knowing that, you played a role in that. And so it does become a humbling and an honoring of that. And it's not for everybody, I would not sit here and promote myself to say, come, because it really isn't for everybody. It is a calling.
Right.
Just like a religion is a calling, right? Just like any program is a calling. Your career, right? You had a calling when you were graduating high school. You had a calling. What is it you wanted to do? I mean, in the beginning, all I ever wanted to do was work with deaf students. All I wanted. I took all these sign classes that were provided. I was fascinated by it. And my path didn't end there. That is not where it directed me. It directed me into the public schools, where I did have some hard of hearing students. And I was gracious to have one student who was profoundly deaf, and she signed. She had a sign interpreter. And that was amazing to me. So, Divine did grant me the ability to access and work with her. So, but we don't ever know. We just give the best that we can and allow them to become who they are, right? And so I am honored at my students that have come forward and shared their stories. It does make it.
It's life purpose to soul purpose.
Nah, could be. Yeah. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. Ida gave a class about our life's purpose, what it meant. What are you supposed to do here? And I unfortunately did not take that class with her because whatever my life was, I think I was, I don't know, in the Dominican or something. Anyway, but my friend Jean was the only class I thought of her when Tony was speaking, because Jean never took notes in class ever. But that particular class, she did take notes, and she did give those notes to me. And then they called it turnkey. So she basically taught me that class, like in a turnkey. And and teacher came out. And at first I was like, man, come on. Teacher, really? Yeah. And then it was like, fine, step over the edge, Kimmy, and be the teacher. And I realized that I've always been a teacher. In fact, that same year that you said that about being the teacher, my union coming back from the summer, they taxed us with the question, why did you become a teacher? And so I answered it. It became, I think it was like 4 or 5 pages long that I wrote this, why did I become a teacher? And the day that we went back and all the teachers were there, 2 of us did that. And she asked me to get up, but it was like 4 pages long. And I was like, no, I was like, I'll put it on the email. People want to read it, but it was 4 pages long. And being the teacher, I've always been a teacher. I've taught people how to braid their hair in school. I taught them how to, back in the day, perm their hair. And I taught how to drive and taught piano. And I've always been a teacher, and I enjoy it, and I've embraced it. And humbled that my teachings resonate with.
So what I find profound in taking the teachings with you on a regular basis, new energy comes in and evolves, and new information always comes through. And you see some of your students taking refresher courses, or they're feeling a little bit something, even those who graduate and come back. And it is so inspiring because you allow that. You allow these students to come back in with, obviously stipulations of don't give the cake away.
Not only that, but when they have questions, they have to understand, they have to be aware that whatever class they're taking as a refresher, that's the level that student is at. And so we want to make very sure that if they have a question that they understand, they don't want to overwhelm the student. Let's say level 5 or 6, right? So a graduate comes back and refreshes level 5 or 6. Well, they're already at a higher level of that because they graduated. So that big stipulation is, make sure that you're not overwhelming the actual level 5 or level 6 student, because they're not going to know what you're talking about. Right. Yeah.
So I know we are now up here in Pennsylvania. We still have those in Miami who have to finish. We keep going back until they're finished.
Correct.
We haven't really decided to go back once they are finished. However, opening up the retreat up here, we have decided collectively, Kimmy and myself, to do new moon Reiki circles. So on the new moons, we are doing them, and she is honored so that it's not a divisional thing. It's more that everybody, it doesn't matter. It's the chakra classes.
So, this
is where, here we go. I just had to tell everybody, get your paper and pencils out, because we're going to give some dates. Kimmy is doing the chakra classes up here in Ulster at the Mojazi retreat. And the next, we already did one May 27th. Now the next one is June the 25th. So she is actually going to start Chakra 1 on June 24th to do the moon on the 25th.
Right.
So now we talked about light therapy classes. Let's talk about these chakra classes, because I'm going to give the dates here. So since I told everybody, get your pen and paper. So that's June 25th is the moon, but the class is on June 24th. July 24th is the new moon Reiki circle. Her class for chakra 2 is on the 23rd.
Right.
Now, in August, we have August the 22nd is the moon. It is also going to be chakra 3 on the same day. Everything's going to happen on the 22nd on that same day. I believe it's a weekend to make it a little bit easier for folks to get here from work.
Wait, I thought, I'm sorry. You said August? Are you in August?
Yeah, August. It says August 22nd, August. So it looks like no, there's something because you leave the 24th. So, okay, the new moon's on August 23rd. It must be.
Yes, and the chakra is on the night before the 22nd.
Yeah. So,
yeah.
Okay. I'm just going to change this.
Thank you. Yeah. The chakra classes are always the night before the new moon.
Okay. And then on September the 21st is technically the new moon, but the energies can go a day before or the day after, which means classes are going to be on the 19th.
Right.
The moon circle we're going to honor date is the 20th. It's going to be a little bit different because of different things happening. Basically, my niece is getting married, so this is why we're changing.
It's the fair.
It's the fair. There's a lot happening that week for us. So even in Miami, we always say, if you know it's going to pour down rain on the energy of a new moon energy for some is 24 hours before or 24 hours after. They'll feel it. Some people who are very into energy and frequency patterns, they might feel up 2 or 3 days before. All good in the hood. You know how you're feeling. Just get the energies, and that's what we're here, and that's what we're talking about. Okay, so now that I went ahead that far, October, November, December, but all of these chakra classes are coming in. So now that you wrote them all down, thank you very much. Let's go back to Kim and talk about these in-depth chakra classes, because I understand, like Reiki, you can take these courses, how healed and how depth. Sometimes the instructor or teacher, in my belief, has that adept feel of how well we go through those metaphysical power centers in order for our frequency, our electromagnetics to heal. People go, there's no such thing as chakras. Yes, there is. Oh, there is. And they so align with frequency patterns and your mind power centers and your physical, mental and physical bodies that it's amazing how it all connects. That's why we have theoretical particle physicists like Sheldon Cooper.
That's right. Yeah.
Anyhow, so let's talk about those chakra classes, Kim.
Yeah. Mary, did you give the October and November dates? I'm sorry.
No, I kind of thought it was a little much. I'm gonna type them all the dates out, and I'm gonna put them in case nobody could grab an pencil. Look at how my typing is, dude. Between not being able to see and getting up there, I should have said pencil. Get your pencil and paper out.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk about this.
Okay. Yeah, so the chakras are energy vortexes, right? There's a whole host of chakra learning, chakra classes, chakra courses, chakra books, right? Even myself, I have at least 2 chakra wheelhouses. It's a fascinating area when we understand why that they're there and how they incarnate every lifetime. So right, you said my grandson. So Jax is now 8 months old, right? So he's right there in his root. I mean, he's root at that so root red, right? And then the sacral is orange, and he is like right there learning. It's like so fascinating for me to watch him and see like the vortexes open, right? And of course, being me, I get to help him heal anything that shows up in those vortexes for him. Why are they so important? Well, they are a foundational skill. They're a foundational wheelhouse. And they, when they're open and fully aware, things that come in our vision, things that are come in our presence and our experiences, they allows us to assimilate and process without seeing red 0 to 60 right away. And so those open wheelhouses allow us to, be calm within the chaos, so to speak. And they do the way that Aida taught them. they go very well hand in hand with the light therapy syllabus as the levels go up, but they don't have to go there, which is why we decided to open up the chakra classes outside of the light therapy levels, right? So this is just chakra in and of itself.
So basically, you can do chakra classes without taking anything else, and you can follow your own practice religion, because we're not saying light therapy is the only way. It's a quick, fast track way, in my opinion, after trying to dive into so many things. You heard the stories that we did take these other courses. We did, but there was just something missing. And that's that feeling. You always get the feeling you're missing something. And that's how I always felt. I just missing it.
Don't the kids say FOMO now? It's the fear of missing out. FOMO.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah. So you want more. It's once you get hooked, you just want more, because you get these diebacks and you're like, oh, if I just had more, I just want more, because I wouldn't have these diebacks. But that's not true, as we all know, right? Even in chakras, she's giving you the material to understand it, and how you might want to be aware of it. How you heal it is your choice. That's your free will of how you are going to choose the next step or that next radial in order for you, to help heal. That's the bottom line, is healing. And the bottom line is sometimes conventional big pharma and conventional psychiatry or psych wards aren't doing it. They're just not doing it. And the reason is because you're not aligned. The chakra frequencies or the electromagnetic frequencies that align that vibration are just not there. And Kim allows you to do that. Now, are those courses vetted as well, Kim?
So when they are incorporated with the light therapy, they are absolutely vetted. Yeah, because there's a lot of healing that goes on. The classes that we're doing, the chakra classes, not necessarily. I'm not given that red flag to vet the chakra classes as we're presenting them on the new moon, because it's more of a course, like you would take a course in chakra, not online or on YouTube, right? So you're not going to be certified in chakra training, but you will have a certificate that says that you participated in each chakra level, but it's not geared to teaching the chakra classes. But honestly, anybody that loves chakras can teach a chakra classes. It's the integrity, it's the intent, it is the content of the class that people come out saying, wow, really great class, or yeah, all right, I didn't really learn anything, that I didn't already know. You hope to. That's always a goal. Learn something you've never learned before. And but the way we have this one set up, no, this particular chakra is not going to be vetted. It's not needed to be vetted, because it's more of a dip your toe in type of thing. It's more of a yeah.
We got your towel. You go dip in and get wet. So
yeah, you're right. Dip in, get wet. See if this resonates. Right. It's a little more less word harsh to those who are conditioned to believe another thing, right? So if you're conditioned in a belief system, and the esoteric, the spirituality, though classes, light therapy, Reiki, are not for you because you're still conditioned like it's not a good thing to do in your belief pattern, the chakras, they're kind of like, oh yeah, you can take chakras. Those are just, those colored wheel things that you're right. People believe that you can, that you have in there, whether you believe you have them or you don't have them. So we believe that the chakras, teaching those classes, are less evasive on an old conditioned pattern. And, you may be surprised, because by taking them, right, that old belief pattern, that old conditioned response may be withered away like the walls of Jericho, right? They may just crumble down as you walk around each chakra. As you go higher, the walls of Jericho may fall.
I love that. I love that. So one more before we have to go to break again.
Sure.
Pendulum. You teach something called, we heard in some of these students, the pendulum course or the dowsing course.
Yeah.
Why is that so important? And what is that?
So pendulum usage is just another tool to douse. Okay, so dowsing is to be inspired by God, to get an answer from divine that your psyche, your ego, your education, your experience cannot reach, cannot answer for you. All right. And then the pendulum is just another dowsing tool to allow us to be able to seek an answer that is divinely given. So it is a tool for divination. It's just one tool for divination. And I teach it in an ethical manner. Not that nobody else does, but I teach it as an ethics class, and how to use the art of divination with that specific tool to open up a plethora of others. You may have been an empath and you don't even know that you are, or somebody said, yeah, I think you're an empath. And you're like, oh, great. Now what do I do with it? And so the pendulum also allows that ability to open it. It allows your inner being to become more aware. And so that gut instincts, people are like, oh, I have gut instincts all the time. Beautiful. I love them, because those are the people that when the pendulum works for them, they're like, shut the front door. Like, get out of here. Yeah.
It's fun to watch the and the eyes go up, and I get to do the computer for Miss Kim. I get to do the slideshows. Yeah. So I get to face as she's teaching, and the students are looking directly in the front, and the awareness and the consciousness of what? It's just an unbelievable thing. Yeah. So we're going to have to take a quick break. And what is that? Please share contact information for Kimmy. I did. If you scroll up, you can see it, Miss Jackie. I just put it up there. It said you are listening to Kim Malley at Going to Kim's. You can tag her there, or you can also going to Kim's at gmail.com, and you can get her there as well. I generally don't put up phone numbers up here, but you can get her through the platforms of Instagram or Facebook at Going to Kim's. Or you can also give her an email, goingtokims with an S at gmail.com.
Yeah, so contact form on the website too.
Yes, there you go. And then you can download that. I forgot about the website. And that one is goingtokims.com as well. So we are speaking with Miss Kim today of Going to Kim's. My name is MJ. You're listening to the World of Conscious Positive Thinking, how to heal an alternative way instead of the traditionals that might be out there to help us. And it's a beautiful platform here that MB Radio has given us so that we can assist veterans in healing that which brings them down the most. So we're going to go to Dallas Alexander, and we'll be right back right after this.
I wish there was some place that I could go where I got the promise to never be alone. These bars all have last call, and my friends, they ain't home. I wish there was some place that I could go with a heartache this big, a bottle this small. I don't think I'm ready to deal with it all. I need a 24-hour heartbreak saloon where they never have last call and play country tunes. When she walked out of my life, I nearly broke down, drowning my heartache in every bar Saloon, where they never have last call and play country tunes.
The station where our veterans' voices are heard. MBR Talk.
Hey, thanks for tuning in. Welcome, Quack.
Program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
The web at mbradio.com.
Hey, H Train, I want you to know Kim likes your quack.
Welcome, Quack.
He's in the background with his hands up. Also, here's another for H Train today. Kim in the beginning, same thing. That third class, I know he's a good friend. I know we're going to have him on the air. She's looked all over Spotify and everywhere to try to find that particular song, and she cannot. How do we guide people to there?
Put him on the spot.
Let's see if he answers. Oh, in the private chat, he goes, I'll find out. He's in the bat cave. All right, he's going to find out for us. So that was Dallas Alexander, and he is another one of our faves here in MBR Artistries. He gives us his music to play. I believe that song was called Heartache Saloon. Our Heartbreak Saloon. I couldn't see the whole title in my little computer. Sorry, Dallas. I'll make sure to get that. As well as people always ask about these segments. Now I've had numerous people on my texts wondering how to have this. So here it is. After the show, it does get uplifted to iTunes and Spotify. You can also see it live on TV on Roku. You can also see it live on Amazon Fire Stick, but we are on almost every platform. You can see him at the top there. There's some I don't even know, like at X and Twitch and some of those things.
X was Twitter.
Oh, okay. So, but anyway, they're on like 18 streaming platforms. Once it's over, feel free to always. It is also on 2CAP, TWOCPT, 2CAP, which is the World of Conscious Positive Thinkings on YouTube. It is also on the Facebook page there that you can pick it up, not just MBR. You can go to the app. There is a MBR app, Military Broadcast Radio app, that you can go and you can search all other. And I encourage you, because our DJs, in fact, it's such a beautiful little tribe that they have. And Ferran came on the Dozier show. I saw Tony. I saw Terry. These are all beautiful, beautiful programs in itself. And Jose Flores, I love him, my officer, who is his motivational fitness guy. And let me tell you, I always hold up a battery going, I'm ready for you, Jose, with that battery, that energized bunny. And he is retired. I don't know where he gets his energy. I think he's a little bit older than me. And I'm like, dude, I don't understand it. Where do you get that energy? And I thought I had good stamina. No, oh my gosh, no. He topples. So welcome, for those beautiful tribes who came in, and everybody. There it is. Terry put it up. Thanks, Terry. Terry Lynch is she has the show Tracer Rounds, and she is also one of our board members on MBR. So always play it safe. Got H in the house and got Terry. So, but both of these beautiful people will be on Beyond the Headlines tonight. Woo, got that all out. Kimmy. So let's go back to you really quick here. We have some time. So we did all these classes. Now you do one-on-ones as well. Yeah. Okay. Can we talk about those for about 2 minutes?
Sure. One-on-ones consist of pattern clearing. Those would be, or a Reiki session. So I do actual Reiki sessions, which would be a one-on-one as well. But then I also do pattern clearing. So those are the things that you finally are aware of that you're like, oh, I'm here again. Didn't I just do this last month? Or didn't I just do this with the last boyfriend or the last girlfriend? Or didn't I just do this? Like, what is happening? And so those are, we call patterns, lesson patterns. And so reading on a one-on-one allows you the ability to hear where that came from. How did it start? We go back to the first lifetime that it showed up. If it's ancestral, then that means that not only you have it, but somebody or multiple people in your bloodline have it. And this could be anything from, I don't know, breaking bones to emotional, anger management to illnesses. Those are all ancestral lines, right? It could be genetics as well, but they're ancestral lines. And so the one-on-one session would encompass all of that. And we would look at that. One-on-one sessions are definitely vetted. So just because you want to see me doesn't necessarily mean that divine thinks that I am a good fit for you. And so, be understanding of that as well. Yes, I would love to help everybody. In fact, I tried to help everybody I even came in contact with. I tried to help. And divine graciously gave me a huge pain in my arm. And I could not figure out what was going on with this pain. And it was finally told to me that you are doing way too much. You're trying to heal everybody, which we know we're not supposed to, right? It's not part of what we do. And you cannot. There has to be a gatekeeper. And so those would be the one-on-one sessions. And I do the frequencies now as well. So the frequencies would be another one-on-one session to come in to figure out if those frequency machines would help through your nail or a halo sticker. But yet all of that is vetted, because that is, rather than being very egoic and saying, of course I can help you all, come on over, right? That would be very egoic. And I'm not trained that way. I'm trained to help when needed, right? Help as many as I possibly can, but to understand that there's an energetic, Tony said that perfectly, there is that energetic exchange. It is knowing that when you're in my Reiki room, that you understand and you feel that connection. It's something, because you have to do the work, right? It's not just me doing the work. You have to do the work. Yeah. And sometimes the work is hard. So.
Folks, it has been fun. I am out of time, and there's a show who's following us. I love you, Kimmy. Thank you so very much. Going to Kim's at gmail.com, going to Kim's.com or at going to Kim's. Any of those, you'll find her. You're talking to Kim Malley today. Just an alternative way of feeling good about yourself and about your journey here in life. Thank you to MBR Radio who allowed us for this time. We will catch you tonight on Beyond the Headlines. I am MJ of the World of Conscious Positive Thinking, signing out.
Bye. Thank you. Mwah. Maybe.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in to Military Broadcast Radio. As we wrap up today's show, we want to remind you that the podcast of today's episode will be available right after we go off the air. So if you missed any part of the show or want to listen again, be sure to check it out. And remember, we're here to support and honor our veterans. Your stories and experiences matter, and we are committed to giving you a platform to share them. That's right. We're here to give our veterans a voice. So don't forget to catch the podcast and stay connected with us. Giving our veterans a voice.